Hi, I'm Allie. I'm the social media editor for Cascade PBS, and I am joined today by Rachel Belle, the host of Your Last Meal and the Nosh here on Cascade PBS. Thanks for hanging out with me today, Rachel.
Oh, of course, of course.
We're gonna answer some viewer questions.
I love answering questions because I ask questions for a living, and so it's really actually fun to answer questions.
Good, because there's a lot.
Okay.
Okay, first, you're originally from the Bay Area. So what brought you to Seattle?
A job. So yeah, it was 2005. This is actually my 20-year Seattle versary this month. Woohoo! And yeah, I was working at a news radio station in Sacramento called KFBK, and there was some kind of crime happening in Sacramento that they wanted a report in Washington. And so I started doing reports for Cairo Radio. And then eventually they hired me. So I moved up here to work at Cairo Radio 20 years ago and ended up working there for about 15 years in two different parts. Once for 3 years, and then I came back for another 12.
Oh, wow. How
Yeah.
did you pivot from being in news reporting to deciding to report on food?
I've kind of always wanted to be in food media, but it's so hard to make a living doing it. I mean, for example, like over the years, I won't name names of like existing publications, but like publications that you respect were paying me, $25 an article, maybe $50 an article, you know? But I have been doing food writing since I was probably around 21. I was always doing a little bit on the side. So always freelance food writing for, yeah, a long time. That's like 25 years. And then I
Dang.
started my podcast, Your Last Meal, 9 years ago. And then when I got this job, this was when I was finally, for the first time, able to do all food media all the time. So you're looking at the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any food that you miss from the Bay Area that we don't have here or we don't have as good of a version?
I was just talking about this with a friend. There's two things, but one of them I've remedied. So one of them that I've been posting about on social media almost constantly is an It's It, which is
Yes.
an ice cream sandwich from San Francisco that I thought that we couldn't get here because when I moved here 20 years ago, I would bring it up and no one knew what I was talking about. But I recently discovered that they have It's at grocery outlet. And so I have a freezer full of them right now. And if you haven't had one, it is made in San Francisco. It's two oatmeal cookies with ice cream in the middle, enrobed in dark chocolate. And I hadn't had it for so many years. Just as good as when I was a kid, which doesn't always happen. So I've remedied that. But the other thing that most people don't know about up here is called Dutch Crunch bread. And it's like a kind of
Oh,
bread, you know, because you lived in the Bay Area.
yes.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about. And it was available at most delis. And it's hard to explain. It's better to like Google image a picture, but it's this bread that has this crackly top, kind of like the crackle top of some Mexican pastries. And you would bite into it and it would be like crunch. And we don't have that up here.
And it's so good. I have ripped my mouth open so
Oh,
many
yeah.
times on a delicious piece of Dutch crunch bread.
So worth it. And
It's
then the thing
so
I've
good.
been harping on for 20 years is burritos. Like I just miss the taquerias of California. I haven't been able to find a burrito as good as I ate for my whole life until I moved here.
Yeah, no. 4 years in California, and I'm like, yeah, the burrito scene here.
Mm-mm. There's
It's,
good Oaxacan food up here. You can get good tacos, but I can't find a perfect burrito for what I like.
Oy. How did you come up with the idea for your last meal?
I was working on a story, I don't remember what, when I was a news reporter, and somehow ended up on this website that listed the last meals of every inmate ever executed in the state of Texas. And it looked like it was from 1992, like the first website ever made. I mean, it wasn't cute. And I just was reading and reading, and I found it so interesting. And, some people wanted one thing, some people wanted 20 things, most people wanted fried chicken somewhere in there. And so I started thinking about it a lot and I started asking my friends, what would you choose for your last meal? And then if I happened to interview a chef, I would kind of ask it just, casually conversationally. And then I had this idea that I thought would never happen because I thought of it in such a large scale. Like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a Netflix show that I got to host where I would interview celebrities and it would be a TV show, and then we would go anywhere around the world to find their last meal, whether that was their mom's kitchen or we would go to Hong Kong to have dim sum. And so when I was working at Cairo Radio, they wanted to start a podcast network, and they said, anybody who wants to make a show, make a pilot, and then we have this group of people and we'll pick three and then we will make those shows. And so I thought instantly, like, oh, I bet that idea that I've had for a long time could be transferred into a podcast form. So since it was the first episode and I didn't think I would be able to get like a big celebrity just kind of out of nowhere, I interviewed Tom Douglas, local Seattle chef, and they chose my show as one of the three. And then mine was the only one that kind of kept on going. So yeah, that's where it
Whoa,
started and just been going ever since.
that's awesome. I love that idea
Yeah,
for a show, like for a
me
Netflix
too.
show.
I know it would be so good. It would cost a lot of money, but I mean, who doesn't have that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you are an avid camper, it seems like. And you are always sharing the most incredible meals that you prepare on the trail on your social media. What is the craziest meal you've ever brought on a hike?
I think of more the ingredient, and I laugh just thinking that I do this. I sometimes I bring shrimp on a hike, like raw shrimp. I bring raw shrimp and then I cook it on not camping on a day hike. And I sometimes think like, I bet I'm the only one on this trail right now with shrimp in my bag. Like, what's happening? But I love shrimp. So there's this brand of instant noodles. The brand's called Mama, and I like the pad thai that they make. And I've only ever had it in the wilderness, so I don't know how good it tastes indoors, but it tastes so good outside. So I like to bring that, and I'll bring my jet boil. This is like when it's colder outside, or if I'm backpacking, I'll do this too. And then I bring the raw shrimp, but they're frozen so that the idea is they'll melt by the time I get there. And
Yeah,
then I'll bring scallions already chopped up. And like if I don't bring shrimp, I'll bring tofu. And then I make the little instant noodles and I like mix that stuff in. And it's so good. It's
that
very
sounds
good.
amazing.
I'll make it for you sometime.
Oh my God, that sounds
Mama
so
Nude.
good.
That's what we call them, Mama Nudes.
That sounds I like it makes so much sense. Like, yes, you would bring frozen something and then expect it to melt so you can that like but yeah, I think you might be one of the few people out there with shrimp in their backpack.
The one time in the past few years, I was on a hike and I walked by someone and they were eating shrimp and I lost my mind. I was like, shrimp, me too. Like I couldn't even make a sentence or form to try to tell them because I just was so surprised that I encountered another shrimp on the trail.
That's awesome. I really do feel because you mentioned that like you'd never tried it indoors. I feel
Yeah,
like there's just like something so when you make a meal outside, it just tastes so much better.
so good.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
I
It's
know.
so
It's
great.
like you've worked for it, the fresh air, the view. And there's something I really like eating in places where it seems like you shouldn't be eating. Like I love eating in an airplane. I don't care how bad the food is. I love eating in IKEA. I love eating in the ferry. And so this falls into the same category. It's like we're eating shrimp on a mountain. Like this shouldn't happen. So it tastes extra good.
Oh, love it. Do you have a favorite hors d'oeuvre for a camp cookout?
Yes. Also, it's really fun to have happy hour when you're camping. Like when you get back from a hike and you're going to start making dinner, but just kind of have a ceremonial, like
Oh
we're
yeah.
having a happy hour. And even if that's just like pouring chips and pretzels like into a little thing and drinking your beers. But there is something that I learned to make in a class at the Pantry, which is an amazing cooking school here in Seattle. And it's like a sourdough bread or like a baguette, and then you toast it, which is so, so extra good if you do it on a campfire and you get like the smoky grilled bread.
Oh
And then you
yeah.
smear it with ricotta. And this is only like in peak summer. And then you put slices of peaches and either heirloom tomato or like the little sun gold tomatoes, and then a little olive oil, balsamic glaze, and I do basil and sea salt. And that is so good. I love that. And I do it at home too, but it's really good for camping if you're already getting your fire started to make dinner.
Yeah. I oh my God. The Queen Anne Farmers Market's tomorrow and I'm just like peaches, heirloom tomatoes,
Yes.
bread.
And it's something that you can't eat all year round because you literally can't get peaches all year
Yeah,
round. Like you can tomatoes, and so it's kind of the same as eating shrimp on a mountain. Like you've waited all year for this, so it tastes extra good.
this one moment.
Yes.
Um, do you prefer cooking on a campfire or cooking in the camper van?
I really love cooking on a campfire. I have never had a camping stove, and so I've always just made meals that revolved around that. Although it's tough now because there's burn ban every summer. So I'm grateful to have a friend who I often go van camping with so that I can use that because
Yeah.
otherwise, not having a camp stove, I'd probably have to end up getting one.
Hmm.
But yeah, camping, doing it on the campfire is so fun. And I don't really like believe in all the rules. Like you can, if you watch a video of how you're supposed to do it, they'll tell you to like let it burn down and have it become coals and then have hotter coals over here and cooler coals. Like I'm sure that's the right way to do it. I don't have the patience for that. I am throwing meat on a flame. I don't care. Like you just kind of move it around because if you wait until it becomes the embers, it's like it's already going out and
Yeah.
then you have to light a new freaking fire for s'mores. So I just don't believe in it.
Yeah. No,
Just say
that's,
throw it on.
yeah, absolutely. We went camping in Squim a couple weeks ago and there's a burn ban.
Yeah.
And I was just like, gotta
I
rent
know.
rent a camp stove from REI.
And then it's like, what do you do at night? Because that's the night activity is sitting around the
Nothing.
fire. So
Yeah.
you end up just going to bed earlier because
Yeah.
you realize that without the fire, what do we
What's
even
the
have?
point?
Why do I don't want to talk to you anymore without the
Yeah.
fire. We need the fire.
I wanted hoodie on, beer in hand,
Yes.
campfire. That was
S'mores, s'mores. I know.
exactly.
I know. And I also feel like with campfire cooking, you end up eating healthier in the way that like it's mostly whole foods. So you don't end up eating a bunch of like processed stuff. So I like
Hmm.
that as part of it too. It's like, a bunch of grilled vegetables, whatever. It's like, yeah, end up making tacos and you'll have
Yeah.
tortillas. But I mean, it just always feels like from the earth, from the
Yes.
hearth.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Um, if you opened your own restaurant, what kind of food would you serve?
My answer to this revolves around a hole in the market that I have felt for a very long time. So maybe I'm not the person who should be making this food, but I want an onigiri restaurant. Onigiri is the Japanese, they call them Japanese rice balls, kind of translation, but they're usually triangle, and you can get them in every Japanese convenience store, and they're usually stuffed with something, whether it's like tuna with mayo, or like they have seasonal ones, even like beef bulgogi or some kind of like kelp. And I love them so much. And I want a whole restaurant devoted to them. And I make them at home. And that's actually one of my favorite hiking snacks because it's so easy
Oh,
and it's really good on the trail. But I can't make them taste as good as they do at 7-Eleven in Japan. And I don't know
yeah.
what they do to them, but maybe this restaurant will know how to do that.
That would be amazing.
I
I
want it.
Those like saved our butt in Japan. We were
Yeah.
just
And they're
like,
so cheap.
we're hungry and nothing's open. All right, we're gonna talk about the Nosh for a moment.
Okay.
So on the
I'm home.
season, a mome, I don't know where that came from. So season two wrapped like a couple of months ago. And on the season two premiere, you and Chef Joel Gammeren, you guys made this incredible pantry meal with cooking scraps. And somebody asked what your go-to pantry meal is.
Yeah, it's so boring, but I really like it. I often will just make, it's like a clean out the fridge kind of thing. Just any of the vegetables that I have, and I saute them and I eat them with rice, and I'll put like if I have some kind of sauce in there, or I'll make some kind of usually like an Asian kind of sauce. Like that's kind of my go-to for like, I mean, a pantry staple. But the thing I love the most that's been my favorite since I was a kid is just pasta with a lot of butter and lemon and salt. Like that's my comfort meal. And if I have it, people who've been following me for a long time, like who know me from Cairo, know I have a sour cream problem. I love sour cream to a degree that's unhealthy, and I can't keep it in the house unless I have a purpose for it because I will just eat it straight from the tub until it's gone. But I love, like, my dad was born in Romania, and like sour cream is such a big part of that cuisine. And so he would make me, and I like to make just pasta with sour cream and a lot of Parmesan and lemon.
Ooh.
And that is so good to me. That's like very, it's more of like a comfort food than like a pantry,
Yeah,
you know,
that
maybe
sounds
both.
great. I
It's
didn't know
so
your
good.
dad was from Romania. That's so cool.
Yeah, he was born in Romania, and then when he was one, his parents and they emigrated to Israel when it became a state.
Cool.
Because you can't be Jewish without talking about the Holocaust. So they were both Holocaust survivors, and they're like, let's get out of here. So,
Yeah, good call. That's
yes.
yeah, that's fascinating to think about how that like might influence the food that you grew up eating.
Yeah, because we ate Middle Eastern food at home, like Israeli food, but my dad mostly grew up with Hungarian food and Romanian food because they moved to Israel, his parents had been like eating that way their whole lives, so they kind of
Sure.
continued to eat that way. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Um, so last year you published your first cookbook, Open Sesame.
Woo!
Woo!
Oh, what? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh,
Just
do
keep it
you
right
have
here in the
it?
kitchen. I just keep it right here in my kitchen.
Um, what was that whole process like of creating a cookbook?
I had the best experience. I've heard a lot of people saying like the worst part about writing the book is writing the book and people will have like editor shifts halfway through. I honestly it was like the best creative experience I've ever had. I think it's hard to work on something creative with the big group. Like people have their own ideas, people have different work ethic, all different kinds of things could get in the way. And this just everything came together. Like we made this mood board at the beginning of what we wanted the design to be like and the style to be like. And we all had the same idea. And there was
Nice.
just no bumps or conflicts at all along the way. I am on the computer a lot for work, doing editing. Like it, when you see my work, it makes it seem like I'm just interviewing people all the time. But like most of my
Mhm.
job is researching, editing audio, writing the scripts, and I do not like sitting down and I do not like sitting at a computer all day. So getting to do this, it was like I'm standing and I'm in my kitchen and I'm experimenting and, trying new recipes. So I thought it was so fun. I enjoyed every aspect of it. And I really liked writing the head notes, which is the little paragraph above each recipe, because I studied creative writing in college, but I haven't gotten to really write much like that for, professionally, because it's like I was writing news and I write to speak. If that, for
Yeah.
the podcast, I'm like writing and but this is like, oh, I can actually like use adjectives and like I can write in a fun way again. So yeah, it was very fun. I
It's
loved it.
such
I
a
hope to write another one.
it's such a colorful cookbook too. Like I love
Yeah.
how colorful it is.
Thank you.
You're
That was on the
so
mood board.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
Colors.
do you have, whether it's in the cookbook or not, do you have like a signature dish that you want people to associate with you?
Yeah, from the book, it's interesting when people will make something and post to social media to see what people choose because no one has made my favorite dish in the book that I've seen. I know people have made it because friends have messaged me and said, but I'm like, somebody make this. Let's see, what is it called formally? Forget the real name of it. That's the other thing you think that when you write a book that you like know all the recipes and you just don't. I have to look and see. Oh, okay. It's called basil lime pasta with sesame chicken bolognese. So you make this
Ooh,
sauce, you soak cashews, and then you keep the soaking liquid in and you add a ton of basil and a lot of lime and a jalapeno and you blend it up and it makes this like very creamy, delicious, bright herbaceous sauce. And then you make ground chicken and you saute it with kind of all the usual suspects of Asian cooking. There's obviously sesame oil because it's a sesame book. There's tahini and fish sauce and soy sauce and a lot of garlic and rice vinegar. And then you just mix that all together with the pasta. And then you put green beans in there as well. So it's kind of like an Asian bolognese. I love that dish. And it's just a dish that when I make it, people always like the pot is empty. Like people just keep eating it. But I would
nice.
say outside of the cookbook, I think I base what my signature dish is based on like how people react to my cooking because there's like it just feels weird to be like I make the best one of this. Like people are just there's like I don't know, I'm like a little bit more modest or maybe I'm like self-conscious. I don't know. People love my matzo ball soup, which is my mom's recipe. It is so good. And the two things that I add, which I had Regina Spektor, the singer, on my show recently, and her family adds these things as well. So I think it's an Eastern European thing. Um, Parsnips and fresh dill are
Ooh,
the two kind of additions. But the soup itself is just so savory. And I use the boxed Manischewitz matzo ball mix because it's so good. I'm afraid to make them from scratch because why ruin a good thing? I'm
yeah.
afraid they won't turn out as good, but it's a very good soup.
Oh, that sounds great. I can't.
Get sick, I'll make it for you.
Okay. Sounds great. Okay, people asked some very specific food
Mm.
questions. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, I'm a pro pineapple person. Yes,
Same.
I love Hawaiian pizza, which, fun fact for those who don't know, it was invented in Canada.
What?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
it was kind of the idea came from this owner of a pizzeria who I think was a Greek immigrant, if I'm remembering right.
Huh.
He went out to Chinese food and had some kind of savory sweet dish and was trying to translate it. And the brand of pineapple that he bought was called Hawaiian. So he called the pizza Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But do you like pineapple on pizza?
Oh, yes. Extremely so, yes.
It's so good. I think like this argument is boring at this part. Like it's been going on for so I'm like, do we have to keep talking about
Get
this?
over it.
People like different things. Calm down.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, my when we lived in Boston, we lived like three houses down from a corner pizzeria that had such good Hawaiian pizza. And it was just like, if we were not interested in cooking, it was just like, well,
It's
little
right
Pizza
there.
King's right there.
The best is when you are ordering pizza and you're in a group and somebody else also wants it because most people don't. And it's like, we're best friends for life
Yeah.
now. Otherwise, you can't get it in a group because everyone votes no. And it's like, oh, but you want it too.
Yeah.
Let's get ahead if we can do this.
Yes.
Pagliacci uses fresh pineapple on theirs. So
Oh.
theirs is pretty good. They like actually cut it up from fresh pineapple.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we get their pineapple, their Hawaiian pretty more often than I want to admit.
It's a safe space.
Yeah. All right. I also desperately want to know the answer to this question, and I love this question. What is your favorite expression of the humble potato?
Ahoy! I love a baked potato. I love it with everything on it. I think this goes back to being a kid and really liking to have Sizzler on my birthday and getting a baked potato at Sizzler. My whole life, I've loved them and I hardly ever eat them. But yeah, like butter, sour cream, bacon, green onions, like the whole thing.
Hmm.
And in town at the Wedgwood Broiler, which is like stepping into another decade. You open the door and it's like, is it the 60s, the 70s, the 50s, the 80s? I don't know, but it's not now. And the waitresses are wearing like their support stockings pulled up. And the two things and the two only things I like to get there are their baked potato that I always say it looks like it has rabies because the butter is like foamy. It's so foamy. And then their little side salad, which is adorned with Cheez-Its and little bits of salami. And that's the move.
Nice. That sounds great.
It's very good.
I
Although they do
mean,
use like dehydrated chives, but like whatever. And it comes in a little plastic cup that looks like you used to have to take cough syrup in. It's the whole experience.
the chives do?
Mhm. And
That's
there's
awesome.
couples in there that, they're not even looking at each other. They're looking at opposite TVs, eating liver and onions. It's an experience. I love it in there.
It's a time machine.
Mhm.
What is, in your opinion, the best food to sneak into a movie theater?
A beer? I mean, it's probably not legal, but otherwise they have everything you want in there. What else do you want besides popcorn and candy? So yeah, a beer. When I was a kid, my mom would bring a huge purse and she would bring a microwave bag of popcorn. So it's like you
Nice.
could smell us coming in. But honestly, I don't want to sneak anything in because I want the movie theater popcorn with a
Yeah.
ton of butter. There's nothing better than that, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely. I used to work at a movie theater like in grad school, and it was in like a very busy square in Boston. And so we just like we were like, you can bring whatever you want in. We're not gonna
Yeah.
bother policing this. And people would bring like
A
whole,
Costco rotisserie chicken.
probably somebody did. And it was just like, okay, but
You're
how are
pushing it.
we gonna eat that? And I have to clean that up later.
It's gonna smell weird.
It's gonna be gross. You're going into a sold out show. What are you doing?
Yeah, maybe save, yeah, the pad thai for afterwards.
Yes, please. Please.
I
Um,
always wanted to work at a movie theater when I was younger. I always thought that would be a really fun job.
it's like it was cool. I think after a while you get tired of coming home smelling like popcorn and beer.
Yeah, yeah. I had a friend I used to work with, and she would stop at the movies on her way home from work sometimes just to go in and buy the popcorn and take it home. She wasn't even going to the movies. I had never heard of anyone doing that before. I felt that she was a hero.
I feel like people now that Sif Downtown has the Choco Pop back, like I feel like people do that now.
I bet if you lived in that neighborhood,
Yeah.
totally.
And
Yeah.
honestly now I'm like, well, I have to go buy that when I go home. So maybe I'll do that.
It's not a bad idea. Just
No,
for your
it's
own little TV watchies.
yeah, it's a really good
Yeah.
idea. We're actually like blazing through these
Oh,
questions. So,
good. Okay.
um, this might be an impossible question, but do you have a favorite restaurant?
In Seattle or just in general?
Wherever, here,
Okay.
in general.
Yeah. It's hard. I feel like in Seattle, I want to Frankenstein together a meal from a bunch of different restaurants as
Yeah.
opposed to there's this one place and I like everything on the menu.
Mhm.
But I think I get really excited about places that I don't think a lot of people get excited about. Like it's more than just the food. Like sometimes it's going out to dinner and you want really delicious food. Sometimes it's more about the atmosphere. I really like kitsch and I really like gimmicks and I just get this like adrenaline from certain places. So I don't know if this is not my favorite restaurant, probably, but scarcity makes things rise to the top for me.
Sure.
There is a pizza place in Salt Lake City. I think it's just called Pie. And I went there several years ago for the first time because we had taken a van trip to all the Utah national parks and we were sleeping one night in Salt Lake City. And we went to this pizzeria and we had been eating, camping food for 2 weeks. So it was like, get whatever you want. So we'd already ordered two pizzas for two people and a salad. And at the last minute, I saw this calzone called the Vesuvius, and it's stuffed with spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh my
And
God.
I just threw it in at the last minute, thinking, whatever. Oh my God. That calzone. I mean, I think about it all year. It's part of my personality now. We went on a road trip to Colorado and took a different way back so we could go through Salt Lake City to go back to get the Vesuvius. And I'm taking a van road trip in September, and we are coming back around to Salt Lake City so we can go back to get the
Nice.
Vesuvius. I love it. It's so like I was afraid it would be kind of dry. It's like super saucy, carb on
Ooh.
carb. And my theory is the more mediocre the pizza, the better the calzone, and vice versa. Like you don't want that really artisan dough. You want that puffy,
Yeah.
chewy dough that you get at pizzerias that you would go to after like softball practice or something.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm like drooling right now thinking about it. So maybe the Vesuvius calzone at what I believe is called Pie Pizzeria in Salt Lake City, which has been around for at least 40 years. Is that my favorite restaurant? I don't know.
That sounds amazing.
But I also really love in Seattle a place that I shouldn't say this, but I will. Amazing food. I don't love the name. It's called Three Sacks Full. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's odd, but it's farm to table, and the menu changes every week or every few weeks, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
always very good. But you have to say it out loud, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
Three Sacks Full.
that's fair.
Check it out.
Um, what's your last meal, if I'm allowed to ask you
Mm.
that?
You'd be surprised how few people ask me this question, and I'm not kidding. Yeah, I don't get a lot of reciprocation when I ask other people. Um, my last meal would be Washington State oysters that I go out onto a beach and pick up myself and shuck myself. There used to be this event called Walrus and Carpenter, nothing to do with the restaurant in Ballard, that isn't happening since the pandemic. And if you were lucky enough to get a ticket, they had two mini buses. I got to do this once. And they take you out to this beach at night near Shelton on a weeknight, on a school night. And as you get out of the bus, they hand you an oyster shucking knife and a wine glass. And they've selected one wine that goes perfectly with the oysters, and they have spotlights on the beach, and you just get to walk around and pick what you want and eat them. And then they are like grilling oysters, and then when you get back on the bus, they hand you this cup of homemade oyster chowder, and it was just one of the best, most Pacific Northwest experiences I ever had. And so after that, I felt like I don't even need mignonette on an oyster. I don't even need the lemon. Like, I just really like tasting the oyster itself because they all have such different flavors, and you get the seawater, and some of them are sweeter, and some of them are more mineral and crisp. So definitely that. But I want mine with a hazy IPA from either Cloudburst or Matchless. And I want a perfect grilled cheese sandwich from Beecher's that's just like so gooey and so crispy on the outside. That's kind of like my short meal because you can like keep going and going, but like, that's my tidy little one.
That sounds amazing. Oh my
Ugh,
God.
I've never had those two things together, which I totally could because at Hamma Hamma, they surprisingly make a very delicious grilled cheese sandwich. And they
Ooh.
and that's where you get oysters. So
Yeah.
you gotta put them together.
I haven't made it over there yet. I want to go so badly.
That's so cool.
I want to go.
I love it.
Those
Go.
were, I know, I don't have a car.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's such a pain. Like,
It
there's so many
is.
places that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
rent a car to get there. But I mean,
Yeah.
guess I could walk down the street to Taylor Shellfish.
I guess.
Um, those were all the questions. We
Oh,
blew
okay, we
through
did it.
them. So
Amazing.
thanks for hanging out with me and
Sure.
doing this. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me and offering.
Of
I appreciate
course.
it.